Imagine standing in front of a beautiful house that you worked 40 years to pay for. The lawn is perfectly manicured, and the neighborhood is quiet and safe. On paper, you are a millionaire because this house is now worth $1.2 million. But inside, the atmosphere is heavy, and the air feels thin. You are sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a stack of bills that seem to grow every single month like a weed in a garden. You are skipping the organic groceries you used to buy, and you have not seen a dentist in 2 years because you are worried about the cost of a simple filling. You are a paper millionaire, yet you are effectively living on the edge of poverty. This is the reality of being house poor in 2026. It is a silent epidemic that has hollowed out the middle class of America and Europe. We were told for generations that homeownership was the ultimate fortress of financial security. But for many in this modern era, that fortress has slowly turned into a prison made of brick and mortar. In this discussion, we are going to look far past the surface-level numbers and reveal the hidden vampires that are draining your bank account while you sleep. These are the economic forces that the mainstream media refuses to discuss because the truth is too uncomfortable for the real estate industry. Before we dive into the data that could save your retirement, please take a moment to support this channel. If you value the truth and want to protect your financial future in these uncertain times, click the like button and subscribe right now. Leave a comment below, sharing if you have noticed your own home expenses rising faster than your income recently. Your engagement helps us reach more people who are struggling in silence and need to hear this message. Now let's look at why the rules of the financial game changed so drastically as we entered 2026. For decades, the standard advice from every financial planner was simple and direct. They told you to spend no more than 28% of your gross income on housing. If you followed that rule, you were considered safe and financially responsible. But in 2026, that golden rule has been completely obliterated by the reality of inflation. Current data shows that more than half of all homeowners are now spending over 40% of their gross income just to keep their front door open. Incomes have grown slightly over the last few years, but the cost of maintaining a basic lifestyle has outpaced them by a massive margin. The first vampire we must discuss is the property tax trap, which has become a primary driver of middle-class instability. You might believe that once your mortgage is paid off, you finally own your home, and no one can take it from you. But the truth in 2026 is much harsher and more cynical. You never truly own your home in a society that taxes your primary residence based on speculative market values. You are simply renting your own land from the government, and the rent is going up every single year. In 2026, counties across the country have completed their new property assessments following the massive price surges of the previous years. Because home values reached record highs, your tax bills have followed suit with terrifying speed. In states like Texas and Florida, homeowners are seeing their tax bills jump by 20 or 30% in a single calendar year. If you are on a fixed income or a pension, that increase is not just a nuisance or a minor budget adjustment. It is a financial catastrophe that forces you to choose between medicine and your tax bill. It is a forced payment that does not provide you with a single extra benefit or service in return. The second vampire is the insurance crisis, which has reached a breaking point this year. In 2026, the insurance market has become a battlefield where the homeowner is always the loser. Many major insurance companies have completely pulled out of high-risk states or restricted their coverage so much that it is essentially useless. This has left millions of homeowners with only one option: high-priced, state-backed insurance plans that offer less protection for more money. These plans often cost double or triple what you were paying just 5 years ago. I recently spoke with a retired couple who saw their annual premium go from $2,000 to $6,000 in just 18 months. That is an extra $4,000 a year that vanished from their retirement fund and their travel budget. Insurance used to be a safety net designed to give you peace of mind during a storm. But now, it feels like a mandatory extortion fee that provides no real security. Even if you have maintained your home perfectly and never filed a single claim, you are paying for the systemic failures and the climate risks of the entire market. The third vampire is the hidden world of association fees, which many call the fourth con. In 2026, homeowners' association fees have exploded due to rising costs for landscaping, pool maintenance, and structural repairs. Many associations are now issuing special assessments for tens of thousands of dollars to fix aging infrastructure. If you live in a condo or a gated community, you might find your monthly fees are now as high as a second mortgage payment. This is a cost that you cannot control and you cannot negotiate. The fourth, and perhaps most dangerous vampire, is maintenance inflation, a force that eats your house from the inside out. We used to rely on the 1% rule, which suggested setting aside 1% of your home's value each year for repairs. In 2026, that rule is officially dead and buried. The cost of high-quality parts and skilled labor has skyrocketed beyond anyone's expectations. Replacing a standard shingle roof used to cost $10,000, but now you are lucky to find a contractor who will do it for $25,000. A simple plumbing emergency involving a burst pipe now costs $1,500 instead of the $500 we paid in the past. Homes are living, breathing entities that require constant care and attention. In this inflationary environment, houses have become much hungrier and much more expensive to feed. When you do not have liquid cash because all your wealth is tied up in the equity of your home, you start to defer essential maintenance. You ignore the small leak in the basement, or the aging furnace that makes a strange noise every morning. But deferred maintenance is a ticking time bomb that eventually explodes. Eventually, the small repair you ignored becomes a major structural disaster that can wipe out your entire emergency fund in a weekend. This leads us to the psychological trap of the paper millionaire, which is the most subtle form of modern poverty. There is a certain pride in being able to tell your friends that you own $1 million home in a great neighborhood. But that pride does not pay the electric bill or put gas in your car. That equity is trapped behind walls of brick and mortar, and you cannot eat your kitchen cabinets. Unless you are willing to sell the house or take on a high-interest loan that further complicates your life, that wealth is functionally useless. Many people are holding on to their large family homes out of a deep emotional attachment to the past. They remember the holidays, the birthdays, and the sounds of children running through the hallways. But you must ask yourself a very difficult question. Is the memory of the past worth the misery of your current financial situation? In 2026, true financial freedom is defined by liquid cash flow and the ability to say yes to life. It is not defined by the appraisal value of a property that you are struggling to keep. If your net worth is tied up 90% in your primary residence, you are not wealthy in any practical sense. You are actually quite vulnerable to the whims of the economy and the local government. You are one major medical bill or one natural disaster away from a total financial collapse that you might never recover from. The stress of this situation ripples through every other area of your life, affecting your health and your relationships. Financial stress is one of the leading causes of chronic illness and marital strain among those over the age of 50. When you are constantly worried about how to pay for the next repair, you lose the ability to enjoy the home you worked so hard to build. There is also a phenomenon called the golden handcuffs of home ownership. You might have a very low interest rate from several years ago, which makes you feel like you can never leave. But if the cost of taxes, insurance, and maintenance has tripled, that low interest rate is no longer saving you money. It is keeping you trapped in a house that is too big and too expensive for your current needs. You are staying in a situation that makes you miserable because you are afraid of losing a low rate that the market has moved past. So, what is the strategy for survival in this new and unforgiving landscape? The first step is to be brutally and painfully honest with your monthly and yearly budget. You must track every single dollar that goes into your home, not just the mortgage payment. This includes the rising taxes, the soaring insurance premiums, and the inevitable small repairs. If that total number exceeds 35% of your take-home income, you are in the danger zone. The most powerful move you can make in 2026 is what I call strategic downsizing. Selling a large, expensive-to-run home and moving into a smaller, more efficient property can instantly unlock your future. Imagine having $500,000 in a high-yield account generating monthly interest, instead of $500,000 of equity sitting in a roof that needs to be replaced. That is the fundamental difference between living in fear and living in peace. It is about moving from a position of being asset-rich and cash-poor to being cash-rich and debt-free. Another option is to look into property tax appeals, which is a right that many homeowners neglect. In 2026, there are specialists who can help you lower your bill by proving your home is overvalued relative to similar properties. Every $100 you save on taxes is $100 that stays in your pocket for your family or your hobbies. You should also shop for insurance every 6 months, even if you like your current agent. New companies are entering the market with different risk models, and you might find a significant discount by switching. Finally, you might consider the concept of house hacking for seniors and retirees. Renting out a spare room or converting a garage into an accessory dwelling unit can provide the steady cash flow needed to cover Nyung Chi Fi Nai. It is not an ideal solution for everyone, but it can be the bridge that allows you to keep your home without going into debt. The world has changed, and our approach to housing must change along with it. We can no longer assume that a house is a safe investment that takes care of itself. We must treat our homes as liabilities that require active management and constant financial scrutiny. If the numbers do not work, do not be afraid to walk away and find a living situation that actually supports your life. As we conclude this discussion, I want to leave you with a thought that I hope stays with you. Your value as a human being is not measured by the square footage of your house or the zip code where you live. It is measured by your peace of mind and your ability to care for yourself and your loved ones without constant anxiety. Do not let a pile of bricks and wood steal the joy of your golden years. You have worked too hard and waited too long to be a slave to a piece of real estate. If you found this information helpful and it gave you a new perspective on your finances, please hit the like button. Share this video with a friend or a family member who might be feeling the weight of being house poor. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you never miss our deep dives into the financial truths of 2026. We want to hear from you in the comments section below. Are you considering moving to a smaller home? Hoặc bạn đã tìm thấy một cách để cắt giảm chi phí nhà ở mà chúng tôi chưa đề cập đến? Let's start a conversation và giúp nhau vượt qua những thời điểm kinh tế đầy thách thức này cùng nhau. May you find the wisdom and the courage to make the best decisions for your financial future. May your bank account be full, your stress be low, and your spirit be free. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for our next update as we continue to reveal the truth about our economy. Blessings to you and your family in everything you do.